Okay, Fight Freaks, this is your boy Big Steve G, and welcome to another podcast on TheTitleFight.com. We're going to kick things off with recapping what was a very busy and exciting weekend in the world of boxing, and we're going to start with the Friday Night Fights main event in Far, Texas, which showcased junior middleweight veterans Antoine Smith and Robert Garcia. The way styles matched up on paper, it appeared Smith would dominate. However, that wasn't the case. Garcia had the hometown advantage in his favor, as well as a very small ring which favored his fighting style. Garcia was able to control the action with inside punching and not allowing Smith any distance. Smith just couldn't get going in this fight as his back was constantly against the ropes and he was only able to land one punch at a time. Smith is one of the few fighters such as Glenn Johnson and Devin Alexander who constantly grunt each time they throw a punch. And I have to admit that Smith's grunt is probably the most annoyingest grunt that I've ever heard, and it appeared he was trying to convince the judges that he was the busier fighter. However, it wasn't the case. Garcia would win an easy 10-round unanimous decision. All right, let's move to the ShoBox main event, which showcased rising junior lightweight prospect Diego Magdaleno taking on rugged veteran Fernando Beltran in Phoenix, Arizona. I have a special respect for Diego Magdaleno. Me and a buddy of mine went to a world title card at the Palms in Las Vegas in September 2010. The card was an HBO Boxing After Dark card in which the main event was Yuriorkis Gamboa versus Orlando Salido, and it also featured Brandon Rios taking on Anthony Peterson. In one of the last preliminaries before the televised card, Diego Magdaleno fought and looked very impressive in scoring a mid-round stoppage. Me and my buddy were sitting up in the balcony at the Palms, and Magdaleno's family was sitting 2 rows below us. After this fight, Magdaleno came up to the balcony and sat with his family for the rest of the fights. I was able to bump fists with him and tell him good fight, champ. It was a great experience, and he now has a fan for life. After this, Magdaleno began appearing on televised fight cards such as Top Rank Live, Friday Night Fights, and ShoBox. Again, Magdaleno turned in a great performance using his exciting style and ring generalship. He was dropped in the 4th round, however, it was a flash knockdown, and he was able to quickly recover. Magdaleno kept his poise and continued to press the action, which earned him a 7th round TKO. Another great win for Magdaleno, who improved to 22-0 and is looking for a title shot here very soon. Okay, Saturday night was another busy night of boxing, and we're going to recap the very exciting and action-packed Fight Night live triple header on NBC Sports Network from Brooklyn, New York. The night started with unbeaten rising heavyweight prospect Bryant Bye-Bye Jennings taking on former WBO heavyweight title holder Sergey Liakhovich. Liakhovich was originally scheduled to headline the first Fight Night live card in January. However, his opponent Eddie Chambers pulled out of the fight, causing Liakhovich to be without an opponent. Therefore, unbeaten Brian Jennings took on Maurice Byram in the main event and put on an impressive performance. Sergey was just a sitting target for Jennings, who used a solid jab to set up combinations and cruised to a 10-round unanimous decision. Jennings is a great athlete who was a former football and basketball player who decided to take up boxing a couple of years ago, and he looks very good despite his lack of experience. He may be the next great American heavyweight if he stays in shape and is brought along the right way by his management team. Jennings needs at least 2 to 3 years of solid experience before stepping up to that top level to challenge for a title. The last thing he needs to do is to be put into a huge fight when he isn't ready and then gets blasted, just like former heavyweight prospect by the name of Michael Grant, who had amazing potential and was shot after Lennox Lewis destroyed him in a fight he wasn't ready for. Okay, the second bout of the evening featured former light heavyweight and cruiserweight champion Tomas Adamek as he returned to the ring after being destroyed by Vitaly Klitschko this past fall. Adamek returned against tough veteran Nagy Aguilera in a 10-round heavyweight bout. This fight was action-packed from the opening bell. Adamek used a stiff jab to set up quick combinations and landed a lot of hard shots on Aguilera. Nagy was game and hung in there, landing some good shots of his own throughout the bout. However, Adamek controlled the tempo of this fight and would earn a 10-round unanimous decision. A good win for Adamek, who brushed off the Klitschko loss very well and is ready to move on to bigger things in the heavyweight division. Okay, the Fight Night Live triple header was headlined by former undisputed welterweight and two-time junior welterweight title holder Zab Super Judah taking on unbeaten prospect Vernon Paris in a 12-round junior welterweight eliminator bout. Judah is coming off a knockout loss to Amir Khan this past summer and was looking for another title shot against a very talented Paris. Judah has been around a long time and has had many ups and downs while facing the best fighters in the junior welterweight and welterweight divisions. For as long as he's been around, he is still only 34 years old. The younger Paris dismissed Judah prior to the fight, saying he is shot, he finds ways to quit during fights, and that he would easily dominate him. Paris has had a troubled history of making weight for fights, and he has admitted that he hasn't trained for some of his fights. Paris once again had trouble making weight and had to sweat very hard to make the 140-pound limit. Inside the ring, it was all Judah, who used his excellent right jab to set up quick combinations to the body and head. Paris seemed overwhelmed in the ring and appeared to be thrown off by the southpaw stance. Judah dominated this fight from start to finish en route to a ninth-round stoppage. Another chapter in the great career of Zab Judah, and he now awaits the winner of the Amir Khan-Lamont Peterson rematch. Regardless, with his great conditioning and excellent boxing style, I see Zab fighting till the age of 40. Only time will tell. Okay, let's move on to the HBO doubleheader from Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas. In the co-feature, top junior middleweight contender James Kirkland looked to continue his rise back to the top, taking on tough contender Carlos Molina in a 12-round junior middleweight bout. Molina surprisingly controlled the tempo of this fight with his quick, solid infighting, and he was able to land quick combinations while limiting Kirkland to only one shot at a time while smothering his punches. Kirkland was confused and just couldn't get set in this fight. His vocal trainer, Ann Wolfe, advised him in the early rounds to relax and try to outbox him. After this strategy didn't work, she then shifted gears and told Kirkland he had to take this fight to Molina and go for the kill. In the 10th, Kirkland was able to drop Molina at the end of the round. Since a fighter cannot be saved by the bell, the round was still in progress. Molina's corner, who was obviously confused by the situation, stepped onto the ring apron. Therefore, referee John Shorley disqualified Molina after consulting with ringside officials. A very bad break for Molina, who was leading on all scorecards and was on his way to possibly winning a decision. Kirkland and Ann Wolfe were also very disappointed with the outcome, as they wanted to win this fight fair and square. Kirkland said he would give Molina a rematch, and I believe he deserves one. Okay, in the main event, four-division champion and Mexican legend Erik Morales attempted to go to the mountaintop once again, taking on unbeaten top contender Danny Garcia. Morales, who was the WBC junior welterweight champion, lost his belt on the scale by coming in 2 pounds overweight and deciding not to attempt to lose the extra poundage. In addition to this, he was also fined $50,000 for coming in overweight. Inside the ring, Morales looked very impressive in the early rounds, landing good shots. However, with his conditioning and his many wars in the ring, you knew he was going to wear down as this fight went on. Garcia began picking up the pace in the middle rounds with his jab and accurate combinations. Garcia was able to drop Morales with a left hook in the 11th and looked as though he might stop the legendary Mexican fighter. However, the fight would go the distance and Garcia would earn a unanimous decision, earning him his first world title. Garcia and his father were very emotional during the post-fight interview. Garcia's father, who trained him, was a former fighter who was never able to win a title due to asthma problems, and he was living his dream through his son, and they achieved what they set out to accomplish. I see a great future and career for Garcia. Morales, who is 35, has been in a lot of wars over the years and has won titles in 4 weight classes, and definitely should hang them up for good. I think he should have one more fight against fellow Mexican legend Juan Manuel Marquez before heading out into the sunset. Okay, in this week's Classic Review, we're going to look back at a 1997 heavyweight championship bout between heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis taking on the very controversial Polish fighter Andrew Golota. Golota was coming off back-to-back disqualification losses to Riddick Bowe, in which he dominated both bouts before being disqualified for repeated low blows. Lennox Lewis was looking for respect among boxing fans and media. He won his second heavyweight title in a rematch with Oliver McCall in which McCall was behaving very weirdly and simply wouldn't fight. He was crying in the ring, and after 5 rounds of weird behavior, the fight was stopped, awarding Lewis the WBC heavyweight title. He would defend the title against Henry Akinwande in the summer of '97, and once again won a controversial disqualification in which Akinwande was disqualified for repeated holding. Lewis and Golota met on October 6, 1997 in Atlantic City. Golota arrived at the arena very late and didn't warm up properly. Lewis came out and landed a huge right hand that rocked Golota, and Lennox moved in and dropped him with a barrage of punches. Golota was able to get up, however, Lewis moved in for the kill, landing repeated right hands, which put Golota on the canvas again, causing referee Joe Cortez to stop the fight. A great win for Lewis, who was finally able to get that monkey off his back and score an impressive knockout victory. Okay, before we go, I just want to say farewell to the great boxing writer and analyst Burt Randolph Sugar. Known for his trademark cigar and fedora hat, he wrote many books and was always present at all the major fights for the past 30 years. He passed away yesterday at the age of 75. Rest easy, Burt. We're definitely going to miss you. Okay, that does it for this session, Fight Freaks. This is your boy, Big Steve G. Until next time.